Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us for Access City Council. I'm your host, City of Las Vegas Communications Director David Riggleman. Coming up on this show, residents show their support for local law enforcement, and Lunar New Year celebrations took place all across Las Vegas to say goodbye to the year of the ox and welcome the year of the tiger. Here to talk about these topics and more is our Mayor Pro Tem, Stavros Anthony, who is also the Councilman for Ward 4. Hello and welcome.
Great to be here. Lots of things to talk about, especially all the Year of the Tiger events.
Yeah.
Lots of events. The Chinese American community is very proud of bringing in these New Years every year, and it's great to participate in all of them. We're going to talk about every single one.
We are, because you were at all of them.
I was.
You were. Good for you. Mayor Pro Tem, we want to let everybody know we've done some redistricting. We've talked a little bit about this, I think, previously on this show with you. But for those of you that don't know, we have to redraw the maps in keeping with the census every 10 years. So we're going to show everybody out there what the old boundaries look like. This is the old boundary map of the city's 6 wards. You're going to see how Ward 4, along with the others, changed, and Mayor Pro Tem is going to explain why that takes place every 10 years. That's what the ward looks like now. So you kind of grew to the north and to the west just a little bit.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, every 10 years at a minimum, we need to redraw the lines because of the population increases, and each ward is supposed to have about the same number of people. So each ward is supposed to have around 105,000 folks, and the Ward 6 had like 130,000, some of the other ones had like 90,000. So we do that, but when you do that, you kind of shift where the population is moving. So you can see where Ward 4 took north and west. And what's interesting about Ward 4 is during most of my tenure, it was pretty much landlocked. There were just little infill pieces to develop in Ward 4. Now there's huge chunks of empty land that are available for people to build on. So I'm termed out at the end of this year, so the next council person taking over my tenure will have a lot of rezoning and developing and making sure that whatever is developed in that new area is harmonious and compatible with the community, and lives up to the we want development in Las Vegas to be fit in with the community, what the folks want that live there. So. The next city council person is going to have a lot of work to do in that area, where I did not, because it was mostly infill. And what's interesting right now is a lot of these infill pieces that are, it's just small pieces, maybe 5 acres. Those are starting to get developed, not only in my ward, but a lot of other wards because of the lack of land that's available. So hopefully BLM will be releasing some more land for developers to develop and make sure Las Vegas grows properly.
Those federal parcels, exactly right. Well, and again, these will be our boundaries at least until the next census, and as the population shifts, so will those lines 10 years down the road, too.
Yeah, so. And the other thing we did was we did send a postcard or a letter to all the new residents in each ward. Any new resident that got taken into a new ward, we wanted to make sure they knew they were in a new ward, who their council person was, and how to contact us. So I hope you received that letter, and if you're a new resident to Ward 4, welcome, and we're very open. My assistants are Becky and Sally, and we're just here to help you out, and the phone number is 229-2524. I know you showed that at the end, but we want our new residents to know that who their council person is.
Absolutely, and you can also go on the city's website, enter your address, it'll tell you what ward you're in. But yes, as Mayor Pro Tem mentioned, if your ward changed, you'd have gotten a little card in the mail saying so, telling you who your council member was, and also give you the opportunity to subscribe to their newsletter if you'd like to. But if you didn't get one of those little cards, then you stayed in the ward that you're currently in, or you were in previously. And I should mention, about 44,000 residents within the city limits saw their wards change of the 600+ thousand. So a relatively small percentage compared to the overall population. So, right. Well, you know what? You've been very busy, and we all know that you have a background in law enforcement. You worked Metro for 29 years, retired as a captain, and you posted this on Facebook. Honored to welcome everyone to Police Memorial Park in Ward 4 for our law enforcement appreciation ceremony. This took place back on January 8th. And I know this is near and dear to you because of your background in law enforcement and your commitment to public safety.
Yeah, I'm lucky to have Police Memorial Park in my ward, and every year I sponsor the Law Enforcement Appreciation Day, and you can see there was so many people that came out to recognize our law enforcement men and women. And but what's nice is, unlike a lot of other cities, Las Vegas is still very pro-law enforcement. So we hold this event so people can take the time, if they want, to come out and say hi to our law enforcement officers, have a ceremony, recognize them for the job that they do, putting on a uniform every single day to protect this community. And at the same time, it's done at Police Memorial Park where we can remember the over 100 men and women in Southern Nevada that have died in the line of duty in law enforcement. So it is so wonderful to see just regular folks coming out, regular citizens coming out and walking around and saying hi to everybody. And we have some speeches. We kind of keep that to a minimum because we want people to actually talk to the officers. But it was a fun day. A lot of people showed up. It was very well attended.
I think one of the things you touched on is why the police and the community overall get along very well in Las Vegas is because Metro and our marshals have worked very hard to build those community relationships at events like this over the years.
Yeah, I mean, that's really been a big part of the policing model in Southern Nevada is community-oriented policing. So we want to make sure that residents feel comfortable talking to a police officer or a corrections officer or one of our marshals. We want them to be able to walk up to a police officer and say, hey, I need to talk to you about it. Where, a lot of other communities, residents are scared to do that. They're scared to talk to officers, but we don't want that model here. So that works very well because people understand that, police officers are human beings and they can, they can make a mistake and we'll work around that. But they're people that actually want to help our community, not just throw bad guys in jail, but actually try to solve problems in our community and help people out. We want to make sure that police officers know that's part of their responsibility, and they do, but we want residents to understand. They can go up to a police officer and say, I have a problem in this area, can you help me out? And they will. Yeah. So it's next year we'll do it again, and I'm going to attend as a private citizen.
Okay, very good, very good. Also, February 2nd, big doings over at Area 15, not in Ward 4, but this is cool. Yeah, and I know you were intrigued by it. So why don't you tell everybody what's going on?
Yeah, if you haven't heard of Area 15, it's over by Rancho and I-15. It's a very interesting place. It's hard to describe. It's very high tech. You're welcome to go down there. They charge a certain amount to attend the events, but they're constantly coming up with new innovative things to do there. So
it's very interactive.
It is.
Yeah.
So the latest one is a huge tower that they've built, and at the base there's I believe 10 chairs and there's a bar, and you sit down in the chairs and they raise you up like 150 feet. And you go up there and have a cocktail and some appetizers and do it out in the open, and you got a great view of Las Vegas. So that's called Liftoff, and they just set it off. It's not a liftoff where they shoot you up in the in the
like
sky.
At Knott's Berry Farm or Disneyland.
It's something that's it's easier to take it. But that was the latest one. But you should go check it out. It's a big part of our redevelopment area. That whole area is what it's called, our redevelopment area. And this company came in and we helped them get set up, and they're doing a great job making sure that area supports our economy, and they're paying taxes. But it's interesting. Area 15, it's called. A lot of things to do down there, and they're constantly changing out their events, and this Liftoff is the latest one. So if you want to have a beer martini way up in the sky, go. It's sitting outdoors, so if it's a little windy, they'll hold off until they set it up. But it's a fun event.
All right, very good. Didn't know about that. Didn't know about it at all. And of course, I think, as we mentioned at the top of the show, a lot of Lunar New Year events took place across the community. Mayor Pro Tem, he attended many of them, so we're going to tell you about these. The first thing we did, though, is for the Citizen of the Month, at the City Council meeting on February 2nd, you recognized Jannie Lowe.
Yeah, this ended up being basically the kickoff of the Year of the Tiger, and wrapped it around our Citizen of the Month. Each City Council person gets to select a Citizen of the Month, and I selected Jannie Lowe, who is obviously Chinese American. She owns Golden Catalyst, which puts on all the events during the Chinese New Year. But she's an absolutely wonderful lady. She owns Satay Thai and Bistro over on Paradise. She's been in senior HR positions. She served at the White House as a commissioner for initiatives for Asian American and Pacific Islanders under President Trump and President Biden, and she served on restaurant coalitions. She received the Community Achievement Award and many, many others. So that's why I decided to pick her as a Citizen of the Month. And at the same time, we opened up Chinese New Year, and we had the dragon dancers and the Luohan School of Shaolin lion dancers and their music, and we gave some speeches and gave her a plaque, and it was the people that were there were I didn't think they were going to expect this kind of event to start off our city council meeting.
It's very dramatic. Yeah, if you've not seen it in person or watched it on TV, it's you can't miss it. So.
Yeah, so it was just great honoring. It's always great honoring our Citizens of the Month, and I was honored to select Jannie Lowe as our Citizen of the Month in conjunction with the opening of the Year of the Tiger in the city of Las Vegas, which I believe is the largest Chinese New Year celebration week-long event in the entire country. And it's really because of Jannie. She's the one who kind of puts the whole thing together. She's the golden catalyst that kicks it off and keeps it going for a week. And I love it because I attend every single event that
yes,
they have.
you do.
Because everybody's so friendly and nice, and the food's good and the dancing's good. It's a lot of fun.
Well, just case in point, you were also at the Asian Chamber dinner. This took place on February 4th in conjunction. This was kind of another way to kind of get things going for Lunar New Year, Chinese New Year here in the city. Yeah,
the Asian Chamber of Commerce is a big part of our community. They support not only Asian businesses, but any business that wants to join their chamber, and they have their big gala every year.
And it was your lovely wife.
That's my wife, Bernadette. She was there with me. We're all wearing red. Another guest that was there took another picture, but it was very well attended. There was probably 300 people.
Wow, that's great.
There, and it was a lot of fun. And
that was the Orleans, right?
That was at the Orleans. That was put on by the Asian Chamber of Commerce.
Nice.
So it was a very nice evening. A lot of elected officials were there.
Awesome. And then, hey, it didn't stop there. You posted this on Facebook. You said, great day for the Spring Festival / Lunar New Year Parade on Fremont Street in downtown Las Vegas with my blue Corvette. Look at you.
Yes, I brought my 2014, took the top down blue Stingray C7 Series Corvette. I love my car, and I decided to just put that right into the parade, and we had a great time. Driving down the street, and Councilman Creer was there with me, and it was absolutely packed with spectators, and they all seemed to like my Corvette.
Yeah, your Corvette is a star, no question about it. That was back on February 5th, and of course, beautiful weather. We've had a mild winter, and we've really taken advantage of it out for parades. You're going to see another parade for MLK coming up here in a few minutes too, but that was pretty cool. And then kind of in keeping with that whole Lunar New Year theme, you posted this on Facebook. Beautiful night for a water festival in Desert Shores community. Not exactly part of Chinese New Year, but hey, it's lanterns on the water. Hey, that kind of works, you know? Yeah,
this is an event that there's a beautiful young girl there. She has her lantern with her. This is held in Desert Shores, which is in my ward, and they invite everybody to come out. There must have been 200-300 people out there. They purchase these lanterns, and all the money goes to restocking Desert Shores with fish. So all the kids can go out and
do little fish,
catch some fish, catch some fish. So it was a beautiful night. People were having a great time, and the lanterns were all over the place in the water.
That's pretty cool. You know, the community out there is very active. Whenever there's anything going on, they always turn out in droves. So.
Yeah, and during this year, I'll be having 2 or 3 Desert Shores movies in their lagoon. I'm having a couple of shredding events in Desert Shores, and they always show up. They're very, very much community minded.
Yeah, good stuff. And then also, too, you posted this on Facebook again, keeping with the whole Lunar New Year theme. Honored to proclaim February 3rd Chinese New Year in the desert in the city of Las Vegas. It's a wonderful opening ceremony. We have a great Asian American community here in Nevada. And again, there you are at another Lunar New Year event.
Yep, it was at the Venetian. There's Janny Lowe again. I gave her and the Chinese American community a proclamation kicking off Chinese New Year. This is my wife again, Bernadette, and they had wonderful, beautiful dancing. The ladies were doing some spectacular dancing, whether it was Chinese or another Asian form. It was really nice, and it was very well attended, and again, we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And Councilman spreads the wealth. We also recognize Greek Independence Day here at the city as well,
do.
in honor of your ancestors as well. So, and then this closing ceremony, Councilman, took place February 6th as part of the Lunar New Year, which was pretty cool. And tell me about the closing ceremony. Was there like a specific celebration for that as well?
Actually, that was the closing ceremony was really for everyone that was involved in putting the Chinese New Year, Year of the Tiger of week-long event. It was kind of to say thanks to everyone.
Gotcha.
Janny was there. A lot of folks that were involved in putting on the program. They invited me because I went to everything. But it was really, thank you for all your help. Janny can't do it herself, but it was very nice. We had it at a restaurant that was, the food was awesome, and everybody we kind of talked about the events that came up, and they're already planning next year, whatever that's going to be.
That's great. Well, and to make sure that everyone's included, we also had the Vietnamese American annual Lunar New Year event. That took place on January 23rd. And you were able to attend that as well. Now that looks like it maybe took place at a school?
It was at an event in Henderson, event center in Henderson.
Okay.
It was absolutely packed. There were so many people there having a great time, and I gave the Vietnamese American community a certificate for all that they do in our community, and it's just great to see folks coming together and sharing their culture with us and talking about what's important to them, and I just like listening to them and taking pictures and having fun. But it was another great event. Yeah.
Well, it's what makes America great, right? Is we're this big melting pot where you get to enjoy all those different cultures mixed together, and we all bring our traditions from no matter where our ancestors came from, and again, that's what makes things great in this country and fun too. So, and hey, the festivities don't stop there. You posted this on Facebook, said, great day for the Martin Luther King Jr. Parade in downtown Las Vegas. Of course, this was on Martin Luther King Day weekend, and that's a huge parade. Oh,
there were so many people that showed up, and so many floats, and it was another beautiful day in downtown Las Vegas. Just great having all these kids out there, and the mayor, and former mayor and Councilman Creer and all the law enforcement that came out, but everybody just came out to honor Martin Luther King Jr. and what he stood for, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
It is. We had great weather this year for it, which is always a blessing in January. But that always, as you mentioned, big turnout. Our parades, Veterans Day Parade, very large turnout. Martin Luther King Day Parade, very big turnout as well every year. So, So looking forward to doing that again next year. Always takes place right around Martin Luther King Day. It's usually the Saturday, or sometimes it'll take place actually on MLK Day itself, but it's always on that weekend. This year took place on January 17th, which was Martin Luther King Day, the day that we mark it. That was that Monday. So then, Councilman, you've got a shredding event coming up that we want to tell everybody about later on this month.
I'm actually partnering with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department to put this one together. It's Friday, February 25th on Cheyenne.
2 to 4, yeah?
Yep. So please come out. It's an easy shredding event. You pull up, we'll take all your documents. We have a shredding company there that'll, they either shred them on site or they'll take them back to their warehouse and shred them, depending on how many people show up. And it doesn't cost you a penny. And you know that your documents are are shredded safely and nobody will see them and you won't be a victim of identity theft.
Yeah, which you know a lot about. Mayor Pro Tem, before coming to the City Council, retired as a Metro Police captain and was in charge of the Financial Crimes Division, and saw firsthand how devastating it can be when you have your identity stolen.
Yeah, there's so many stories of people, logging into the computer and looking in their bank account and all their money's gone, or they get their credit card statement and there's tens of thousands of dollars, and just trying to figure out what happened and trying to get that money back it's ridiculous. It's so much work, and you don't want to go through something like that, but you want to keep your finances safe, whether it's making sure nobody sees your personal documents, taking care of your passwords, lots of ways to do that. But don't leave documents around with your social security number or a password or your date of birth, your name, because they're getting very high tech today when it comes to ruining you financially. So the least you can do is shred your documents, and if you have a lot of them, bring them to our event, and we'll take care of it.
And we've talked about this, if at home everybody has those little shredders, you put the paper in, it comes down in the strips, but the shredding we're talking about here, the pages get pulverized. Yeah. It's just like little bits of confetti, and it'd be impossible for someone to try to take that and put it all back together again. So it's very secure and very safe.
Yep. So please take advantage of it.
Yeah, really important. Get out there, get that taken care of. And again, it's tax time coming up here.
Yeah.
We're on the eve of that. So all those old tax statements, everything that's got your social security number on it, date of birth, that's the kind of stuff you really want to make sure you get rid of. So, all right. Good advice there, Councilman. Well, hey, we're running out of time, but we want to tell everybody out there, we always want to hear from you. So if you have something you'd like to share with Mayor Pro Tem Anthony, you can find him on Facebook and Twitter. You can also contact him just by picking up the phone, 702-229-6405, or send him an email. His address is sAnthony@LasVegasNevada.gov, and here one of his great staff get right back to you with any issues that you might have out there in Ward 4. And again, boundaries have changed a little bit, but if you're not quite sure, they'll guide you. They'll make sure that you get connected.
And everything's on the website, so you can look it up and make sure who your councilman is, because we're here to make sure you have great neighborhoods and a great place to live and a safe place to live, and that we hear from you if there's any issues that you want us to deal with. So make sure you contact us.
Yeah, and I think that's really the key. If there's something out there, you're the eyes and the ears in the community. If something's happening in your neighborhood, there's an issue that we need to know about, hey, reach out, and everyone here is very responsive to try to get to the bottom of what the issue is. And if we're not the right agency, maybe it's a county issue or NDOT or another agency, we'll get you connected with the right people then. So, all right.
Very good.
All right, Councilman, well, great job. We'll have another show coming up in the future with you. And in the meantime, we want to tell everybody out there, thanks so much for joining us. Don't miss our next show beginning on February 24th with Ward 2 City Councilwoman Victoria Seaman. You can catch all of our KCLV shows on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire now. Also, watch for our QR code after this show to subscribe to our newsletter. And don't forget, of course, you can watch us live on the internet at kclv.tv. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time around.